But text messages and other documents that we've obtained reveal what really happened.
So right there, Chris, that's not an opinion.
I don't know how much is going to come through in the transcript that can be read now, but audibly, because we were able to call in to that hearing and listen to it, there did seem to be a lot of stress and a lot of tension, particularly when it came to those.
Blake Lively, once Hollywood's golden girl, might be facing serious turbulence in her career. Whispers suggest a former assistant, someone who worked closely with her for years, allegedly leaked damning receipts that could upend her polished public image. Screenshots, emails, voicemails. Sources say the evidence hints at a pattern of behavior that contrasts sharply with the wholesome persona fans have come to expect. While details are still emerging, insiders claim these leaks reveal a side of Lively that's far from the charming, picture-perfect image carefully cultivated over time.
What really happened? Now, is that going to be problematic for them?
The leaks reportedly include claims of diva-like behavior, backstabbing within the industry, and questionable treatment of colleagues. Insiders suggest these revelations might make industry players reconsider working with her. Adding fuel to the fire, Blake Lively herself hasn't spoken out. Total radio silence from her team, or even Ryan Reynolds, leaving speculation to run wild.
Very nervous about medical records being revealed, and it seemed very evident that her lawyers were instructed to ensure that her celebrity relationships, third party, all that stuff was off the...
And then there's the social media angle. Usually, Blake, or Ryan, is quick with a clever quip or a wink at the cameras. This time, though, total silence, and that's raising eyebrows. Staying quiet when something this explosive hits only makes the rumors grow. Fans are split. Some defend her, claiming the receipts might be taken out of context or even faked. Others insist the evidence is too damning to ignore. And the harsh truth? If the industry starts turning on her, fan support won't save her career.
That's how I felt. It just, given what we're looking at and what's happening and the backlash and everything else, I can't imagine Blake's celebrity friends are happy.
Some say the timing isn't random. This former assistant may have waited for the right moment, when the leaks would have maximum impact. Whether it's revenge, leverage, or just finally speaking out, the result is the same. Blake Lively's carefully curated image is facing a serious shakeup. Hollywood insiders are already watching closely, knowing that careers can pivot or plummet overnight once these kinds of receipts hit the public eye.
The judge was calling both of them out. He was attempting to keep things being neutral, but there were definitely moments where Brian's arguments felt stronger than the other side.
A wildfire in a dry forest. Fans, critics, and industry insiders are all weighing in, threads exploding, TikToks dissecting every possible detail, memes flying faster than any official statement could keep up with. Every screenshot, every leaked email, every alleged voicemail is being dissected, analyzed, and shared, turning this into a viral storm that even the most polished PR strategy struggles to contain. Blake Lively's Golden Girl image is now under an intense, relentless microscope.
Present some of our text messages in discovery with our high-profile clients, that being Taylor Swift and whoever else. Some people say Bradley Cooper and whatever other friends of Blake Lively might get sucked into them.
If she stays quiet, the rumors and leaked receipts will keep swirling, giving them more life than a gossip column on steroids. But if she pushes back, addresses it head-on, or drops a statement, she risks fueling the story further, or worse, making missteps that could add more fuel to the fire. Every move is being watched, every word analyzed. Hollywood doesn't forgive easily, and the court of public opinion? It's brutal, unforgiving, and merciless. Blake Lively is walking a tightrope, and one wrong step could turn a scandal into a full-blown career collapse.
See different court papers, everything's supposed to be public, right? Freedom of Information Act are supposed to be public, but in certain cases like this, sure.
Brendan Slenner's post sent shockwaves. On his Instagram story, he didn't just hint. He laid out details of Blake Lively's complaint against Justin Baldoni and Wayfair Studios. The tone was noticeably different from his past support. Subtle captions suggested skepticism and distance. Fans and industry insiders alike are reading between the lines, wondering if this signals a shift in Hollywood alliances. When someone who was previously a staunch ally starts questioning the narrative, It adds credibility to the leaks and intensifies the pressure on Lively. This isn't just social media chatter. It's a ripple that could turn into a tidal wave for her reputation.
The provision to state that information may be marked AEO, attorney's eyes only if its disclosure is highly likely to cause significant business, commercial, financial.
Exactly. Hollywood loyalty can evaporate overnight. Blake's initial advantage as a high-profile star gave her credibility at first, but as more evidence and context emerge, the narrative is shifting. Fans, journalists, and even colleagues are starting to ask questions they might have ignored before. Suddenly, her favorited status isn't a shield, it's a spotlight, highlighting every questionable move. In an industry that thrives on perception, once doubt creeps in, it spreads fast. Co-stars who once supported her may now be recalculating, realizing that backing someone without scrutiny can be risky when the receipts start surfacing.
Side argued that they think that she shouldn't receive any preferential treatment because she's famous, and we need to see all this information. We'll redact it, we'll keep it from the public, and they say, no, you'll leak.
Exactly. Brendan Slenner's sudden pivot is a textbook example of Hollywood caution turning into public commentary. Those heart emojis aren't just social media fluff. They were a signal of allegiance. Now that they're gone, it sends a message loud and clear. He's hedging, maybe even reconsidering his past support. And in Tinseltown, perception is everything. Neutrality here isn't really neutrality. It's strategic waiting, a let the legal dust settle approach. But the damage or the impression of his earlier backing doesn't just disappear. A 50% reversal doesn't wipe out the record. People remember who showed loyalty and who flipped when the tide shifted. That hesitation alone can affect how both sides view him professionally and socially.
And, clearly Justice side didn't care about the medical stuff or the security stuff. They agreed even in that call. That's not what this is about. What this became about was more of this sort of mid-ground issue.
Once you take a public stance, there's no walking it back.
No
matter how much you wish you could. The heat is going to follow Brendan Way. Longer than he's expecting. People will always be asking why he was so eager to help bring down an innocent man. And it doesn't stop there. Brendan isn't the only one retreating. Isabella Ferrer, who plays young Lily in the movie, has gone suspiciously silent. She was vocal in her support for Blake, but now no. More Blake Lively endorsements. And when people start backing off quietly, you can bet they know something the rest of us don't. Isabella Ferrer's role in this scandal is far from minor.
She's been
named in both Blake and Justin's lawsuits. In fact, Justin's lawsuit includes screenshots.
Sort of weaponizing the political ideologies that might be trying to dismantle beliefs involved.
Right, those texts from Ferrer are particularly damning in context because they show a side of the story that contrasts sharply with the public narrative Blake was pushing. On the surface, they seem like standard gratitude messages from a young actress to a director. But now, with the lawsuits and allegations in play, they could be interpreted as evidence that Justin Baldwin fostered a positive, professional environment, contradicting claims that the production or his leadership was problematic. That's exactly the kind of detail legal teams love. It can undercut accusations and show that the alleged victim, or their team, might have been misrepresenting events. It's subtle, but in a court of law, those thank you texts could become crucial receipts.
Explain. Blake is unsure about the future of her career because of the backlash she has received. She does not want to have a family with no income, and she knows that Ryan's career has so far survived the fall.
Exactly, that context really shifts the lens. Isabella Ferrer's behavior seems less about any genuine grievance with Justin Baldoni and more about the influence of Blake Lively's proximity and the PR-driven atmosphere around the premiere. Before meeting Blake, she praised Baldoni genuinely, highlighting a safe and professional set. After the promotion events, her narrative shifted entirely, which raises questions about external pressures, social, professional, or PR-related, that might have caused her sudden change. And yes, the floral dress moment, bracelets, and shoes handpicked by Blake, that's classic Hollywood optics. Every detail curated to project influence, control, and aesthetic power. In this case, the fashion wasn't just style, it was part of the subtle messaging machine shaping perception around her.
Story for you. Lively vs. Baldoni. How right-wing influencers are weaponizing the fight to take down hashtag.
I need a picture of that entire ensemble. Here's the twist. Isabella felt she had to side with Blake, especially after Blake claimed Isabella only got the role because Taylor Swift had pulled some strings, which, as we later learned, wasn't entirely true. Let's be honest, Blake didn't just manipulate Baldoni. She had the whole cast, Justin included, completely under her control, calling the shots while everyone followed her lead. Since Justin Baldoni began sharing his explosive evidence, Isabella has stayed completely silent.
We're not interested in publishing anything about her security, but did bring up that, you know what? Our addresses got leaked.
Now, most people are starting to think that Brendan Slenner and the rest of the cast initially sided with Blake simply because it was the safe move. I mean, who wants to be the one accused of not believing a woman in a scandal like this? But things have shifted. Everyone can now see just how tangled this situation really is. Brendan, for one, clearly doesn't want to sink with Blake's ship. But let's dig into something that's been fueling a lot of chatter since the interviews: Blake's hold over the cast. And no, this isn't about career perks. Her influence was far more potent than anything Justin could offer. Even Justin had to navigate carefully around her. The stakes were too high. Want to know how we got that iconic Ryan Reynolds version of the rooftop scene?
Power.
Blake held all the cards. Crossing her meant going up against Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, two people with the kind of pull in Hollywood who can destroy a career with a single tweet or endorsement. Blake knew exactly what she was doing by bringing them into the mix. Think about it. If Ryan Reynolds decided he was done with someone, it would be over, no questions asked. So when people say the cast is just waiting to see how this unfolds, what they really mean is they're keeping safe. Staying neutral protects their standing in the industry until the dust settles. And honestly, can anyone blame them? In Hollywood, challenging the system means entering a full-blown battle. Loyalty here is a myth. The industry will chew you up and spit you out if you don't play by the rules. Now, let's consider Blake's reality. Her world is crumbling, especially after Brendan's latest response. It's a clear sign she's losing the support she once had. Alliances in Hollywood matter, and right now, Blake's are evaporating. People are realizing that siding with her might not have been the smartest move. Colleen Hoover?
Gone.
She must have realized she overplayed her hand. And this is only the beginning. While Brendan and Isabella are backpedaling, there's a massive twist. Blake's own publicist, Leslie Sloan, has formally requested to be removed from this lawsuit mess. That's right, Leslie Sloan, the architect behind much of the PR chaos, wants out. But here's the catch. It's too late. Leslie sees the storm coming and is scrambling to cut ties before everything burns. How did she get caught up in this? Justin Baldoni exposed that Leslie was allegedly orchestrating the PR behind the scenes, managing Hollywood's elite messes, keeping bad press at bay. She was the fixer, the one making moves behind the scenes. That's why Blake rejected her help in taking Justin down. But it backfired spectacularly. Now, Leslie's name is everywhere. Her reputation dragged through the MUD. IT gets worse. New evidence paints an even darker picture of her involvement. Sources say Leslie was allegedly working behind the scenes to cover up Blake's mistakes, shielding her from the fallout. She didn't stay neutral. She went all in. Leaked emails and messages reveal deliberate efforts to frame Justin Baldoni while protecting Blake's image. This wasn't accidental. Leslie knew exactly what she was doing. She acted with calculation and without hesitation, willing to throw anyone under the bus to keep Blake's reputation spotless. The worst part? She actually believed she could get away with it. But now, it's all unraveling. The web of lies and manipulation is coming apart, and people are finally seeing just how far Leslie went to protect Blake. Hollywood's dirty laundry is on full display, and there's no going back. This is likely when things began going south for Justin Baldoni, something his lawyers emphasized in the lawsuits. They have evidence that the smear campaign against him was already in motion long before that shocking New York Times article ever dropped. That's how connected, ruthless, and allegedly powerful Leslie Sloan really is. Yet now, suddenly, she wants out. She's asking to be removed from Baldoni's case, worried that sticking by Blake could destroy her. But here's the twist. Unlike Brendan, Sloane doesn't get to just choose whether she stays or goes. She's in this for the long haul. Not only is she expected to testify, but she's also poised to burn through all the money Blake paid her just to cover her legal fees. And here's the kicker. She's actually demanding that Justin Baldoni foot the bill. Every new piece of evidence reinforces a simple truth. Justin was set up. The real masterminds behind this entire mess were Blake and Leslie. Despite the false accusations, the character attacks, and the relentless smear campaign, Justin has kept his composure, refusing to become just another pawn in Hollywood's power games. Meanwhile, Blake's world is starting to crumble. With so many cast members jumping ship, her story increasingly looks like a house of cards ready to fall. Public opinion is shifting fast now that Justin is revealing the truth about Blake and Sloane. The sense of betrayal many feel only makes things worse for Blake and her team. And if you thought it couldn't get messier, think again. Now Blake and Ryan Reynolds are scrambling, trying to get Justin's $400 million defamation lawsuit dismissed. They've filed a motion to dismiss, but that move screams desperation. They're attempting to dodge the heat before things escalate even further. But here's the reality. It's way too late for that. Blake seems oblivious to just how deep she's in, even suggesting she might refuse to sit for a deposition if Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, is involved. Legal experts quickly tore that idea apart, pointing out that no judge would tolerate such antics. At this stage, Blake and Ryan's entire defense is crumbling. Support is increasingly swinging toward Justin, especially after